Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Kev's Movie Corner. I am Kev, and this week we are talking about To Kill a Mockingbird. To Kill a Mockingbird was directed by Robert Mulligan, came out in 1962, starring Gregory Peck. This movie was based on a book, which I'm sure many of you read in high school. I know I read it in high school by the same name. Came out in 1960, or was first published in July of 1960. The novel has become a classic over the years. A lot of people, like I said, read it in high school. Won a Pulitzer Prize the year after it was written. It is a kind of a story on social commentary of the time. It's loosely based on Harper Lee, the author's life as a child and observations of what was going on in her hometown when she was a little kid in Alabama in the 1930s. The story follows the family of Atticus Finch, who is a lawyer, and his two children. Atticus, it's told by one of the little girl, which is Harper Lee in this, or the little girl in the story. It's narrated by her. And Atticus is taking on a case to defend a black man who has been accused of sexually assaulting a girl. Case, it's a big ordeal. Of course, it was back in the 30s. People were racist, and that's just the way it was, and it's not what it should be. And Atticus tries to push back and defend this man, and ends up losing the case. And then the man ends up... they say that he ends up trying to run away when they're taking him back to jail, and the deputy says that he shot to injure him, but ends up killing him. So that's the story around the main part of it. There's also side stories with the kids about different... There's a character that is that they never see, that they say is basically a monster. One of those type little kid things. A man that they say is not, not a normal type human. And in the end of the movie, after all of this happens, after the trial and everything else, he ends up, that man that they never see, ends up saving their lives. So, it is a very good story. It's a relatively short read. It's only 209 pages, I believe, if you read it. Oh, this one says it's 307. I didn't think it was quite that long. Anyway, it's a relatively short read. It is a very good story. It is a very good movie. Gregory Peck, who played Atticus Finch, won an Oscar for his portrayal of Atticus Finch in this movie. But it is something that is definitely worth watching if you've never seen it. It's not fast-paced. It's not super exciting. There are tense moments, especially in the courtroom. There's a couple scenes outside of the courtroom with people going after each other. but it's only a little over 2 hours long, so it's a relatively short movie. It goes by pretty quick. Rotten Tomatoes has given it a 93%. On IMDb, it is rated as a 8.3 out of 10. Again, it's definitely a good movie, um, something that is definitely worth watching. And if you haven't watched it before, it's or read the book, either one, they're both great. Um, I know I read the book in high school. I know I've known several people who have read the book in high school or middle school. I don't. I feel like we watched the movie, but I don't remember watching it, so I'm not sure about that. Um, Maybe you did. Maybe your English teacher had you watch this afterwards. This, like I said, I feel like we watched it, but I don't really remember. Um, but again, this is a very good movie. It's rated number 25 on AFI's top 100 list. Um, the um, the story or the title "To Kill a Mockingbird" is used as kind of a theme in the story. Um, Atticus, the first time you hear him talk about it is when he's telling a story about his father buying him a gun as a kid. And he says that, you don't point it at anything in the house, you don't point it at, but eventually you might want to shoot birds. And his father tells him, you can shoot all the blues or jays you want. Just remember that it's a sin to kill a mockingbird. And he makes the comment that they don't do anything but sing for us. Um, so it's kind of a symbolism in this uh, story. Um, and it's a very and kind of about people losing their innocence and hurting something that's harmless, which is not ever something that you should do. You shouldn't hurt really anybody, but definitely not something that can't take care of itself. Um, Again, like I said, really good movie, something to watch. Couple hours, you blow right through it because it doesn't. Even though, like I said, it's not fast paced, it doesn't take time at all. It's not that bad. So, sorry about the delay. Um, I this is coming out a week late. I told you guys about that. I put a short up last week saying that we were going to be a week late. My bad, but things happen. So, um, next week, we're going to do High Noon. That's the next one on the list, number 27 on AFI's list. When is that from? 1952. So 10 years, a decade before this one. So, um, we'll talk about that next week. Um, and I think that is about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and I will talk to you next week.